You're now watching two old farts making noises.
That's my happy Friday afternoon. Well, Friday morning it is for you ladies, but my Friday afternoon
Friday.
song.
It is Friday morning.
Yeah,
Ooh, look at that.
Yay!
Yes, we made
yeah,
it to Friday. Lovelies. How you doing? Look at this. I
yeah.
have the same hat as I have in the beginning of my bit, although
I
now
was just gonna say, I
yeah,
recognize it.
but it's yeah, it's kind of I don't know. I think because it was really tight, I cut a little piece of elastic and it well, that was the mistake. Then it just started to unravel because kind of
Yeah.
holds itself with all of it. And now they have one missing. I have bits and
It's a
pieces like falling
it's a
apart.
bit like life, Noosh.
Yeah.
Once you
A
cut.
garland of rabbit garland. Yeah, it looks like a mop. A
Hmm.
very soft mop, but a little moppy, indeed. Indeed. How are you, my lovelies?
We're
Good, good.
fine. We're happy. Also, Vicky's with us again today. Hey, Vicky! So
Hello,
it's
hello.
Very
and
nice.
so
to be back.
Uncle Stephen's off terrorizing the rest of the world. I think so.
Well, he is in the sky. Actually, I managed because I do not have your number. I don't have your number. I only had his email, and on his email, I found his number, and I texted him, and it's like, "Have a good show. Here's the link. Have a good show." I was like, "Well, where are you?" So he's in the air. I told him to kiss the clouds for me, but yes, he's a little traveler, our little Steven, our dirty Steven.
That's right. Don't tell him to kiss the clouds. The clouds might not like that.
But, yeah,
no, no.
without
Yeah,
consent,
get consent.
Those are the days.
Did you have a
So
good
what's new,
Halloween?
Noosh?
Wait, one at a time. I heard
Oh,
Halloween at
sorry.
Noosh. Halloween, Noosh
Same
did not.
thing.
Well, so we had one of our restaurants who closed here, a restaurant that was a big part of, and it was just too much for the last owner that stayed. There were four, and at the end she was alone, and she already has two other businesses. So we did 4 days of kind of events, and there was the theater here put on the oh god, yeah, the Rocky Horror Show. Did we talk about this
Mm.
last week? Maybe. Anyway, it was very traumatic to me. I was not ready for that. But yes, an American experience. I mean, it was great, but wow, my goodness, yeah, intense. So we basically did dress up before Halloween, and then Halloween was on a Tuesday. And on Tuesday, I decided to finally spend the day at my gallery and get some work done. Little did I know that it was trick or treating all day, so I got nothing done. And while everything was kind of winding down, my friend and my neighbor Diana, with whom I've been riding the last few weeks, she has this beautiful property with beautiful horses, and this horse that I've been feeding for what 2 years and a half. He's like the first horse that came to me on my morning walks. This big, beautiful redhead, whose name then I learned was Gordon. We had to put him down. He broke his leg, and we had to put him down. So my Halloween was totally traumatic.
God. I'm sorry I asked.
Yeah.
How about you? Well, it's the commemoration.
Well,
Yeah, my favorite
I
biggest
had
died. So
I
yes.
I had a horse and we had to go out and shoot him as well. So it's been a
Who did you shoot?
which
You're oh.
yeah,
Mm,
clothes horse.
mm,
Yeah. Actually, I did actually buy a new clothes horse at the weekend. So there is a horse reference.
mm. How about you?
Yeah.
Any horses in your life, Vicky? Dead or alive?
Mm,
Or
no,
hot
I just
hot stud?
She's been Halloween stories. Halloween stories.
yeah, we did
Ugh.
the show with some spooky stories, and that was all I dressed up. And then yeah, I'm not into candy now because I'm
Candy.
not supposed to have sugar, and so I didn't buy any candy, and I didn't want to have leftovers around. So I was that grumpy person who didn't give out candy this year. I know I'm a terrible person, but I went over to Rachel's and she made me dinner. And then I came home and watched scary movies. I know it's boring, but
No, that's fine. But
I'm
actually,
old.
yes. speaking of candies, guys, that I eat gummy bears on Fridays, and I had to give all my gummy bears away. So I have no gummy bears
Why?
today. Well, because the cute kids, they dress up, and
Oh,
usually I do tricks. I don't give treats. Like I have these
treats.
magic tricks, but I had
Uh,
nothing. I had no elastic. I had nothing with me. I completely forgot there was Halloween. Again, I was trying to focus and
Oh,
didn't work.
are you telling us the magician's secret now? You have to have elastic to do magician's tricks.
No, but there's like a trick that you do with elastics where you have like two elastics that are, in like this in your hand, and there's a way that you just separate them. That was the first trick that I learned back at the castle in France with one of the nurses. His name was Michael. He was Australian. Wow, I haven't thought about him in 25 years, maybe more. And he showed me that magic trick. I remember very vividly. And I was so annoyed because I couldn't really get it at first when he showed it to me. I just wanted to like figure it out by myself and then show him like, look, I figured it out. No, that does not work. So he had to show me actually how to do the trick, and then I had to train and train until, well, the trick was seamless. It looks very cool. So yeah, I like magic.
aw,
What
I'm
about
bummed
you,
now.
Vicky?
Can we bring
Are
elastic next time?
are you
Wait.
I wanna see
magic
it.
tricking? You have a magic trick?
Vicky,
No, I was just saying I wanted to see it. So next time, bring elastic because I want to know what it is.
okay. Well, yeah, I'll write it down on my mother's phone. Yeah, not having a phone is tricky.
I was just doing a levitating pencil, but I was trying to keep my hand off.
But actually, there is
Okay.
one masterclass.com. So for you, David, I don't know if you have that also in England, but basically it's a subscription. I think it's what, $250 for the year, and you have all the great movers and shakers of doers of the world that give a masterclass about what they do. So it can be like for example, Anna Wintour is on it, and not Michelle Obama, but the other one, Clinton, the Clinton lady. What's her name? Whatever.
Hillary.
Hillary.
Yeah.
There you go, Miss Hillary. And then who do we have?
I
Scorsese.
think Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay does one, I think, or there's some chefs. That do it.
Exactly. So chefs. So basically, people that everybody kind of knows from around the world. They give you right now. Chomsky is on it a couple months ago.
Is it possible to have a show with Gordon Ramsay in the US without all the bleeps, or do you get him without the bleeps?
Oh, does he curse? I don't know him. I just know him by name. I've never.
Does he? Does he curse?
Oh, it's a thing.
I mean, I think you have to say, does he actually speak English?
Oh no, I wouldn't be able to watch that.
In between the cursing.
Cursing.
It's so I don't know. I don't really.
He makes sailors blush. Let's put it that way.
Oh wow! No, then definitely not. Is his food good? What does he cook? You can't.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what? Have you tried it?
Oh, I went to his restaurant. I had a Gordon Ramsay burger. It was actually really good. But I don't know. He wasn't cooking, but I went to his restaurant.
Has he got a restaurant in Austin then?
It's in Seoul.
Okay.
And it was it was really good actually. There's one in Vegas too. I just saw he has one in Vegas.
But is it American food?
Yeah, it's kind of
international probably.
Yeah, it's kind of a mix. What do they call it?
A fusion of
like a fusion, like American fusion. Yeah, pretty much. I had it, like I said, he's famous for his burgers, so I guess so. But I mean, I think he tailors that to where it's at too. So I'm sure his restaurant in London probably has something different than what he does.
So like he'll do like a good fish and chips in England. A good fish and chips. I miss. There's this one place in the city where I used to get, I think, like the closest. I mean, I've never been to England, so I don't know what's a good fish and chips, but I feel like that one, it was like a very thick, juicy, delicious piece of cod, buttered and crisped to perfection, with amazing crispy fries. It was so good, and they closed.
Did you have mushy peas?
Huh?
Peas. Did you have mushy peas?
What is mushy peas? Like a pea puree?
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Like green peas.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just
they don't do it everywhere, but it's an option.
What's
and the thing about having good fish is that a lot of the times the batter is either too thick, or the temperature of the oil is not hot enough. So when you put the fish in, it really has to seal really quick.
Mm,
and then you get this, and then it's really otherwise it gets really oily and yucky.
mm.
So it's there is an art to it.
Oh, there's definitely an art to it, and for them, the art, I never had it there. They delivered it for me. It was about 10 blocks away from me. Yeah, I mean, not even 5 blocks away. I was totally lazy, but for it to be delivered and still taste amazing, that's an
Yeah.
art. The first time, actually, that reminds me, the first time I had fried chicken, it was in Pennsylvania. It was after a construction job. I was there with all the boys and the boss, and he decided to get us fried chicken for everybody. And I was always kind of, I mean, against it for multiple reasons, because first, I think it's crazy to eat fried food. And then second, if I loved it, then basically I would be focacciaed. Like then that's it. Like I'll be hooked and I'll have to eat it and become fat. But he ordered for everybody's like, Nooshi, you need to try that one. Just trust me. And it came in styrofoam box. I was like, oh my God, that's going to be disgusting, obviously. And little did I know, oh my God, it was amazing. I just chugged half of that chicken. I didn't even notice. Like, I just stopped talking. They were all like, blah, 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 things. Like, I was in a trance. And then I realized, oh my God, I ate half a chicken. I was like, okay, let me just like put it in the fridge. And then I couldn't stop thinking about it until late at night. And I was like, you know what? It's probably soggy and disgusting. And I was like, okay, you know what? We're going to check. If it's soggy and disgusting, obviously I'm not going to eat it. But if it's still amazing, I have to eat it. The stories you make in your brain. And then I tried. It was even better. It was still crispy, but cold. And it was so hot that I was like, this is like a magical fried chicken. And I fell asleep, I guess, eating it because I woke up with chicken bones all around me in the morning. So I was one time in my life in Pennsylvania in trance with a fried chicken, and I never had fried chicken ever since. I was like, that's like a magical journey. It's like a Disney movie of fried chickenness. I never topped that. So that was it for me. That's
The first time I came to the US for business, I was dealing with a company in Minneapolis, and they said, "Oh, we're going to take you out to this restaurant. We had to book it months earlier because everybody wants to be there, and it specializes in butter steak, buttered steak. So which was for me, which could have been Chinese. I don't know what it was. So evidently, so what happens is I think they just leave the steak until it's sort of so ripe, and then they cook it, and then so when it's served, it was served with a butter knife. So you just and it just it was so it sort of went bloop. And to be honest, sort of bloop, yeah. So to be honest, it was okay, because
okay.
I'm not much of a foodie. I have a terrible palate, and about a week or so later, I came back to Minneapolis, and they said, "Oh, we were all going to go out to lunch." I said, "Oh, great." I said, "Well, we're just going to go to this local place, this like diner." I said, "That's fine. I'll go with you. That's fine." So they took me to the diner on some industrial estate, and then and I looked. I said, "Yeah." So I've never been in a diner, so this was an experience for me. And I had meatloaf and mashed potato, and it was the best meal I'd ever eaten in the US. Better than the butter steak. And they all looked at me and said, "What, really?" I said, "Yeah." So meatloaf, lots of gravy. It's like a swimming pool of gravy inside the mashed potato with the meatloaf.
What is meatloaf done with? I hear mixed things. I mean, who told me that meatloaf is probably the worst
Vicky,
thing?
are you a meatloaf specialist? I have no idea. I think it's just minced meat, is it ground meat as you call it?
My mom used to make it, and I didn't like it as a kid, but I do like it as an adult, which is strange. But I think because we had it a lot because we didn't have a lot of money. It's pretty. I mean, it's pretty like standard American fare, but it's basically ground beef or minced meat, however you want to say it. And then she would mix like barbecue sauce and ketchup in the meat and kind of make in some mustard and kind of like spice it up a little bit, salt, pepper, and then you put it in a tin, like a bread loaf tin, and you pack it in there. And then on the top, she would split it and put cheese down into it. So the cheese would melt and cook into the meat. And then on top of that, she would put 2 slices of bacon. And then on top of that, she'd put more barbecue sauce, and then you'd bake it, and that would all caramelize. And then you cut a loaf of
very
that.
healthy. Very healthy.
Like a heart attack in a bowl. That sounds horrible.
Exactly. And we used to have to drain the fat off because like the fat would bubble up and you kind of have to take out
Wow.
the pan and kind of drain it off. And
Oh, yeah, so that explains the problems with America. Holy schmermel. Okay.
exactly.
I
Exactly.
did
Yeah,
not
and you
know
have to
how
have
we
mashed
got this
potatoes.
done. Okay.
Mm.
Getting
But
it in-
Noosh, but so you that was the first time you were having Kentucky and Kentucky fried chicken as such, or fried chicken. What else has America offered you food wise that you really like? Apart from gummy bears, they don't count. It's not a food.
I mean, American food.
German anyway.
I mean, I think, well, I mean, it's not really American, but I don't think, yeah, like I didn't, Kobe beef was not a thing that we were really eating back in France, I guess. Not back
Kobe
then.
beef.
Yeah, you know, like the those cows that are drinking delicious beer and being massaged and, you know,
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all new for me. That one.
I mean, it's really beautiful. But, like when you buy the meat, you see that those like very thin, it's like marbled with
It's
fat.
yeah.
It's
Mhm.
marble with fat, so the meat is, I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. Like it melts in your mouth. Like I'm drooling just thinking about it. But so
Same.
it's not American, but I discovered it here. So I guess, but American food, no. I mean, what is American food? I remember we drove. We had a little road trip with Michael, and we're like, well, you know, because he's American, I'm not. So he defends America. I don't. Culinary. And I was like, okay, well, let's see what America invented. You know, like, all right, let's go your way. And then I found that website, and from the 100 best inventions from the United States of America, one of them was cheese whiz. I mean, come on. Yeah.
Cheese whiz, yeah. That's like yeah, some sort of
That's another type of heart attack or artery situation,
It
like
is.
body. You know, cheese whiz.
Yeah.
Who thought of that? That should be illegal.
is that a cheese spread? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Cheese whiz?
It's like a whipped cream, but instead of whipped cream, it's
Ah,
some weird ass
I've had-
colored cheese that comes out of it. That like
Yeah.
even the texture looks unnatural. It should not be on Earth. So
That's
that's
this
one
is
of the
strange.
creations that you have here.
A strange color.
And then most
What
of
about
the,
you, Vic? What about you, Vicky? Because you're a big traveler. If there's anything that's gone well for you outside of the US?
Mm, I mean, I love it all, really. There's some weird things that I don't like.
ooh.
They do in Seoul, they do a live octopus, the little
I-
baby octopus, and they
I
chop
was
them up and
just
they're all,
thinking about that. I literally was just
yeah, and
thinking about that because that's
it's so
horrifying and that's
cruel.
so mean.
Mm.
That's so mean. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate that. I've never had that and I never will. I had suckling pig. I didn't want to, but when I was in Singapore, I went to Raffles, and that's kind of like their big
Yeah.
thing. I went for my
The-
brother's birthday,
the
and
hotel.
yeah,
The hotel, which used to be
Yeah,
on the waterfront, which is no
Yeah.
longer on the waterfront.
I know. Yeah,
Raffles-
but I had suckling pig, and that made me feel awful after, just because of what it is, and
It's a baby.
didn't
Right?
like that. But what else? Anything weird? And what about the UK? I've had a mince pie in the UK. I like the sweet one, but like the one that's actually meat, that's weird to me. Like, or is it like suet or something in it? I don't know. That one I didn't like, but I did
Yeah.
like the one for Christmas that's like the sweet mince pie that has like the fruit in
Yeah,
it.
the mince. It's a bastardization of the word mince, because originally that would have meant a mixture of dried fruits.
Mm.
And because of the structure and the way it looked, when people started to grind up meat, they gave it the same name. So you'd have
Okay.
but it is, yeah, but it's basically dried, yeah,
But wait,
Yeah.
traditionally for Christmas.
but so you would have dried fruit with meat? No, just dried fruit by itself.
No, they're dried fruit, but they're produced in a sort of almost in a miniature pie casing. So
Yeah, but without meat. Without meat, yes.
yeah, only they're called mince pies because the dried fruits are minced.
Mm.
Mhm.
And Christmas pudding, did you have that as well?
I did. That was good, actually.
Yeah.
And they lit it on fire and everything. That was fun.
Yeah.
Because it's
My
got the
grandmother was
brandy in it or
starting in January making them, and I sort of, when I was a small child, I remember going upstairs. You could smell it from about February onwards, because they literally just keep it in a cupboard for 3/4 of a year. You know, to
And
let
like a
all
cheesecloth or something, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
it's
So
wrapped up.
all the flavors and all the textures and everything would just sort of, you know, become as one. Yeah.
You know that speaking of cheesy things, there is something in France. So I don't know if it was where I grew up, if it was everywhere. So it's a cheesy thing, but that you'll kind of bake like a cake. So it would be a little bit sweet and a little bit acidic. I wonder if they did it somehow with like with kefir, maybe, and some sweetness, something. But then the top would be black because it would be burnt because it's put in the oven, but it's eaten cold. But it's really, really delicious. I haven't thought about that in about 25 years. I need to find out what that is. I'll find a name for that.
Is it like a
Was that
cheesecake?
Huh?
Was that sweet? Sorry, Vic.
Sweet?
Was it sweet or sour
It's
or savory?
very slightly sweet, creamy, and acidic.
Oh wow!
Very, very delicious. I'm gonna be obsessed about this. God, I'm drooling yet again.
And Noosh, is that something that's made at a certain time of the year? Then is that a Christmassy thing or all year round thing? Or
No, I don't remember. I was too young, and it's
let's
very
make lots of
creamy
money.
and wet in the middle. It's very, very yummy. How would I describe that to the Google to find it? Cheesy, wet, creamy.
You don't do that in Google. Don't put that in Google. You, Noosh, trust me, you're going to get all sorts of other stuff when you put that in.
The algorithm's gonna go crazy.
Wait, no, strawberry cake, best burn Basque. Oh, maybe it's a Basque cheesecake. No, it doesn't.
Basque. Oh, I've had Basque cheesecake. Oh, that's good.
Is it like I describe it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't see the consistency. It's usually like a round thing. Okay,
Not
we
like
need
a.
to make some
Yeah.
research on that.
No, that's your research for the next show, then, Noosh.
I'll just call my French people. They know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh God, it was
Yeah.
so good. And I didn't like the
Did-
burnt or the dry stuff. Andre, I used to drive my mom crazy. I'll just like open the top like an egg and eat the whole inside of the cake.
And can you remember the name in French?
No.
Okay.
Something,
Well,
something fromage.
that's an-
Something fromage. I remember that the
Yeah.
fromage word was there.
Like cheese. That's the only thing I know,
Yeah.
fromage. So it's a something cheese thing with a slightly burnt top from X number of years ago. Please tell us. Comments below.
No, but it's
we-
something that exists.
We
It's
need to know.
it's an ongoing recipe that probably has existed for very, very
Yeah,
long
well,
time.
we need to know. So if anybody knows, please put us out of our agony.
French outside, c'est un truc au fromage, un truc délicieux, je sais pas, voilà.
Obviously.
Have you had
I mean,
Trace? There's a Tres Leches cake. Have you had that? That's kind of Tres Leches cake. I don't know if it's American or Mexican fusion, but we have that a lot here in Texas, and it's so good. It's basically cake soaked in condensed milk, kind of.
It's like flanny but sweeter and thicker.
Well, it's a regular cake, but it sits in like a pool of this condensed milk cream, and it's Tres Leches, three milks, whatever. But I don't know the exact recipe. I've never made it, but I love to eat it. It's so good. It sounds weird, but the top part is regular cake and the bottom's wet. And this just, I don't know, there's something, it sounds gross when I say it, but it's really good, right? If anyone's ever had it. But
it sounds great. My mom would love it. She loves condensed milk. She eats like a whole, she can't stop herself. Once she opens the condensed milk, she just eats it like a yogurt.
She'd like it. Tres Leches cake.
But it sounds really weird, doesn't it? Because everybody bakes cakes. The absolute thing that you must never do with a good cake is have a soggy bottom.
Right, exactly. Thank you, Paul Hollywood.
Maybe it's true.
Maybe they couldn't manage to do it, and they're like, you know what? I have a grand idea. Let's just
this cake is really dry.
Let's condensed milk. Yeah.
Oh, I'm watching the latest British Bake Off too. I don't know.
Oh, you're watching that?
Probably here on Netflix.
Yeah.
I didn't watch a few of those. They were a little weird, so I quit. You know, they're a little too out there. There was like something that they were supposed to do, like really, really modern, and I was like, oh, this is too much. I can't do that. My brain is.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I love
show.
Shows. But yeah, the dessert show, I don't know. I thought it was too stressful. You know, like I like to enjoy a food show where I'm like, oh wow, this is amazing. This was stressful, at least to me.
Yeah.
We have it here in Dutch as well. I think the franchise has been sold everywhere. But I mean, but there is something about there's as much pleasure in watching, and I don't mean it in a sadistic way, but there's as much pleasure about watching people fail as they are successful, because it gives you hope, does it not? I mean, I'm lucky if I could even cook an egg, but you know, I was banned as a child for the kitchen. That was not my place to be.
I like it because it's sweet. I mean, there's an American version. I don't know what the Dutch version's like, but I didn't like the American version. There's something about the British version that's just, I don't know if it's Prue and Paul or whatever, but it's just charming. The tent on the estate with the Noosh's castle in the background, and everyone's so like very British and like so.
We have exactly the same here. We have the big land, big chateau here in Holland.
Oh, really?
With the tent in the ground. It's the same sort of thing. But I mean, the almost, shall we say, the way that people react when Paul gives them shakes their hand. You know, it's like, he shook my hand. Yeah.
Wait, so maybe I watched the American version and I should maybe watch the British version. So maybe
the American version's crap. Yeah, I don't watch that one.
It's on Netflix, evidently. So,
I used to love Iron Chef when I was a kid. Not the American version, but the original Japanese version is insane. The original Japanese version is hosted by this opera guy.
What is Iron Chef? What's all that?
Oh, do you guys not know? Do you know what it is, Noosh?
I do. Yes, I heard about it.
It's the original probably cooking competition show from, I don't know. I don't even know how old it is. I saw it on cable or something somewhere, but it's basically these two. There's 4 Iron Chefs in Japan, and they're each in charge of a cuisine. And the challenger from somewhere in Japan will come forward and challenge one of the Iron Chefs, and they'll pick their cuisine, and they'll have a battle. And then the main host guy will pick what the one food is that they have to use in all their dishes. And he's like dressed in this full-on opera getup, and he like pulls this cover off and all the smoke flies, and it's like "à la cuisine," and he says it in French, but look at this Japanese accent, and it's hysterical. And then they just go at it for an hour, and they create some of those beautiful, amazing, strange dishes I've ever seen in my life. And then they have a celebrity panel that comes, and they eat and they judge and they talk about it. And the host, the host plays this eccentric billionaire who just wants to spend his money on eating the greatest foods in the world. So he created this kitchen stadium with his Iron Chefs so that he can eat all the delicious things, and he gets to sit at the head of the table and eat. And then they pick a winner, and the Iron Chef is either, defending the honor of Iron Chefs, or he's like losing face. And it's crazy. I think it's on Prime. No, Amazon Prime now, I think maybe. But yeah, it's food theater, and it's just and amazing what these guys come up with. But the American version, I didn't like. Bobby Flay was in it. It just doesn't.
Oh my God, Bobby Flay! So I did a show with him. So I was on a show. God, that was my first years in New York City. I forgot about that. So we had it was called 3 Days to Open. That was Bobby Flay. What's his name? Well, Bobby.
Flay.
It was Bobby's show, and this guy that I met through a friend of mine that was completely kooky. Like I've never seen such it's like imagine a Tasmanian devil who's on Adderall. I mean, basically that was him. Not in a bad way, but it was like, God, my goodness. It was like my early 20s. Like he was exhausting me, but he was fascinating in a way. It's like, Noosh, and my friend told me, like, Noosh, I have this great job for you. It's 3 days, a couple $1,000s. I'm like, what? Yes, absolutely. I'll do whatever. I don't care. And so we had 3 days to open his restaurant idea. And his restaurant idea was Sticky's Fingers. And it's basically fried chicken. Oh, we're right back to that. Full circle. We should end the show after that story. Full circle. But so basically it's fried chicken, but in the most coolest, wondrous, delicious recipes, like the batter, what do we mix it with. So he had a bunch of ideas, and back then I just had discovered pink peppercorns, and I pushed for it. It's like, man, we need one amazing Sticky's Fingers fried chicken with pink peppercorns, and we did it. We did. We put the recipe together, and we did open in 3 days, and the show was very successful. He never paid me, and then I know, yeah, nobody ever paid me in New York City. I'm the only Jew who worked for free for 16 years. It's ridiculous. But lots of great memories. But then I went to the city back a few months ago, and I get out of no, it was not Grand Central, of the Amtrak, which is now in the old postal building on 34th and 8th. I get out, and my ex couldn't pick me right there. He was stuck in traffic, so I had to cross one more avenue to meet him. And there I am on the corner of 7th and what was it? Broadway? No, it can't be 7th. 34th and 7th. And I look to my left, and it's on the corner. It's Sticky's Fingers. So he's everywhere now. I think he sold the franchise, and now it's everywhere. And I went inside and I checked to see there's my pink peppercorn Sticky's Fingers. I asked, like, is there still the pink peppercorn special? Like, of course. How many you want? I was like, yes. So my recipe is everywhere.
Aw, man, you could have made the money off that. Jeez.
Yeah.
If you're listening out there, Bobby Flay, shame on you.
Bobby, yeah.
Yeah.
Sticky now.
He's Sticky Fingers because he stole your idea.
Well, no.
Allegedly. Oh.
Allegedly. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Never mind.
That was not Bobby. That was just Bobby's show. So my friend, what was his name?
Oh, it was just a show. Okay.
No, but he didn't steal anything. You know, like I like to share my pink peppercorns. I'm glad that they're still there. You know, you can always just go and remember, like, I made this. Haha.
Was it good?
So we've sort of been having a great show about food this week, which we very rarely talk about. Anything else you've got lined up for us, Noosh, for this week?
Well,
Are we colouring?
Yeah, I was thinking that I can read something in French for you, which is a beautiful recipe of the l'île flottante. Do you know what it is? A floating island, right?
Noosh, you can read anything to me in French. You know that, don't you?
What is it? It makes your balls melt. Isn't that what it is?
There you go. That's quote unquote. Yes.
Lovely ball melter, which is kind of in the shape of a ball floating in an island of vanilla. So very.
So all we can say is, ladies and gentlemen, we're now about to have another ball melter. Here we go.
Delicious. Un dessert délicieux en 15 minutes, top chrono. À vous l'île flottante. Vous avez tout ce qu'il faut dans vos placards de cuisine. Des œufs, du sucre, du lait et un tout petit peu de vanille. Pas de course à faire, vous pouvez vous y mettre tout de suite. Une fois que vous aurez maîtrisé cette recette facile, vous ne pourrez plus vous en passer. Pour 4 personnes, 2,64 € seulement. Il faut 4 jaunes d'œufs, 80 g de sucre en poudre, un demi-litre de lait, une gousse de vanille. Et pour les œufs en neige, il nous faut 4 blancs d'œufs et 2 cuillères de sucre en poudre. That's it. Those were the ingredients. The end, because the recipe is too long. Yeah, exactly.
You okay, Dave? You all right there?
Here. Let's give you some weight.
Yeah. No, thank you. Call 112.
Oh, it's 112. That's so cute.
Yeah, you know. And next week, ladies and gentlemen, it's the telephone book. But who cares?
Those sound
Vicky, it's always a show. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I love having you over.
Yay! Thank you. Thanks. I love talking with you guys. I love talking
have you brought something for the show, Vicky, or not?
Yes. Where's your book?
No? Oh, I have the book. Do you want it?
Yeah. Let's ask the question. Yeah. So my question is, how deep should I go next week in my work?
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, that's handy to put to add that to.
Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Oh. Things do not change. We change.
Oh.
Henry David Thoreau.
Things do not change. We change. Well, that's perfect. I'll go very deep then. Haha, Stephen, I wish you were here.
No.
He'll be sitting at
Yeah.
home. He'll be sitting at home thumping the desk. Oh, I should have been there. I have to say
There's a
something
long one
now.
on this side. Do you want this one too? Do you
Oh,
want this
yeah.
one too?
Bring it
We're
on.
not going to make any jokes about long ones. Thank you.
Just deep ones.
Or
This
deep
is
ones.
by Earl Nightingale. I don't know who that is. Maybe it's Florence.
It's
husband.
Mrs.
I don't know.
Nightingale's son. That's Mrs.
Mr.
Nightingale's
Nightingale.
son.
Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it is really. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
His mum
her
loves
son.
him.
For every cause, there will be an effect nearly equal in intensity. If we make good use of our minds, skills, and talents, these will become apparent in our outer lives. And if we make good use of our time, this too will give us a great advantage. For we know that scarcely 1 in 1,000 individuals ever puts his or her time to anywhere near its potential good use. This is being true to ourselves, taking control, accepting responsibility. In the final analysis, we are the only ones from whom we can steal time and accomplishment.
Oh my God. Can you take a screenshot of that? I need this.
I'll send it to you.
Yes, please. Wonderful.
So
Well, that's
go out there and manifest your goodness.
that is a great way to end the show. Let's us all take control of our own lives and time. Let's yeah. So I'll go extra deep, extra super deep next week.
Have we? Have we done everything for today? I'm lost for words now.
We're good. We're good, David. You can push the button.
Oh my goodness.
Bye, Noosh.
Yeah, I was just wanted to say thanks so much for being on the show, and privilege always to talk to you. Thank you, Vicky, for joining us. You bring a completely different dynamic, and we hope that everybody's going to subscribe to the show. We hope that lots of comments. We're interested to know about chicken.
Say goodbye, David. Say goodbye, David.
Goodbye, David.